You know, had to ask myself questions like, you know, what makes a zone a high probability zone other than there being a rally based drop or a drop based rally? And when the market actually enters that zone, what qualifies me to take that level of supply and demand with a high level of certainty? And by far the most important thing, what qualifies the profit potential of the zone before a turning point occurs, right? So having to understand all of this, this is the system that I've created, and the events that you'll see will open your eyes. Don't get me wrong, this is just an overview. You know, you're not seeing the whole picture here, right? This is just an overview of what I'm working on. And, you know, even when it comes to daily levels, guys, I found it so hard actually just finding daily levels. I mean, even this level here, why is this a daily level, right? Just because it's a drop-based rally? It's like, no. And, you know, why is it a daily level? Why is it still working even though it's outside the 30-day timeline that I used to run? You know, all these things come into play now, right? And some of these things just had to fall away also. So anyway, let's dive in. So now we've got this strong rally into this supply zone, right? But obviously we don't want to just make an assumption at this point and just put a limit order in there and just take the trade, because it's going to be like over 100 pip stop. So not interested in that. So what we have to do to then qualify this trade. So before we do that, actually, everything happens in events. So let me just do this. This is my process, right? So that's the D stands for daily, and this is event 1, right? So the market moving into the zone is the first event in the process, and there's 3 events in this particular process. In other processes there's 5 events, but in this event there's 3 processes, and the 3rd process is also the trigger event as well. And I'll explain what that means. So this is the first event, the market actually moving into the daily level. Now, how do we qualify or get better confirmation that this market could possibly move to the downside? So we drop down to the 1 hour time frame. So now what we need to find, right, is a level of demand on the hourly time frame. And we've got a drop base rally here. Okay. Now, the reason why we want to find demand is because market usually if the market can't push through this level of demand, then more than likely the market's going to continue going to the upside, right? So let's just mark this in black because we actually want a break. So here we've got resistance, and finally we have a break here. So let's pull this back up to where it is. So perfect. We've got resistance here. The market couldn't push through, and then finally, boom, it's pushed through. Now this is event 2. So let me just copy that. Bring that over here. Change that. Oh, what's going on there? It's the wrong one. So this is a H1, and this is demand break, and this is event 2. This on the left, go down, and we need a really nice break of the demand at this point, right? When we're looking to determine whether the market's going to move up, continue moving up, or moving down. So we've got a nice strong break here. So this is event 2. This gives me a high level of certainty that the market is now going to continue pushing to the downside, right? So what we look for next, we look for the zone that actually produced that break of this H1 demand level, and more than likely you guys can see it immediately. Hold on, let me get this here. So that's the zone right there. Let's just make that red. Okay, perfect. And as you can see, the market came into it nicely and then has now pushed out, and we're, however many pips we're up already, right? So now this becomes the trigger event. And this becomes event 3. Hold on, let me just move this here. All right. So what you're seeing is the process from event 1, the daily coming into here, event 2, finding that demand, and then the zone that broke that demand. The zone that broke that demand is the supply trigger event for event 3. We put our limit orders at the top, at the proximal line, and then we put our stop loss just above, as always, right? Again, very few pips risked and a lot of reward. This is the process, and it may seem easy, like duh, like, once you look at it, I'll just go and look for that, but it's not always so clear cut. Okay, and you need to be very, very picky about the levels, what they look like, and how they've been broken, and so forth, right? But this is an overview of what I've been working on, guys. And when I say that this shit is fucking game-changing, it's unreal, okay? Because if certain things aren't broken, like this H1 level of demand, then it just you don't lose any money because you're not in a trade, right? You're not in a trade. So it just allows you to really be picky about the trades that you take, because you now have these events that play out. And if the market doesn't play to these events, then you simply don't take the trade. And on this particular event, there's 3 trades. And as I said, on other events, there's 5 trades. Final event on both strategies is usually either the take profit or it comes back up and hits the stop loss, right? This is it, guys. You may be looking at this now and just like be thinking, oh my fucking God, like mind blown, right? How we take a daily level and then, basically refine that down to the hour, take a look at the breakup event 2, find what broke that. That's our trigger event 3, and then place your trade. But the most important thing, this is the most important thing by far, right? Like, none of this will work if you have no profit margin, right? So let me just delete this stuff here. Actually, let me just keep that in just so you guys can see that. Perfect. Okay, so let's zoom back out to the daily chart. Now, the profit margin is making sure that when the market arrives into the zone, we have all black candles. Okay, whatever kind of like candle colors yours is, it has to be, whether that's all green or white or all fucking pink, it doesn't make a difference. It needs to be all black candles. So as we can see here, we've got all black candles, a bit of basing here, which is why I have this line here to see what the price action at this point, to see if it's going to turn around, or there could be more potential to the downside where my actual take profit is, right? But you need to make sure that when the market arrives into a zone, it needs to be all black candles, because look how easily this is pushed down, right? It can't be none of this stuff, none of this, none of black, red, but none of that, like all wicky shit. Like, fair enough, there can be wicks, but just making sure it's all black, because in those wicks, there's always zones, right? So just making sure this is my profit margin, and my profit margin here, I think, is around 420 pips or something like that. It's either 200 and something pips. Let me just grab the price chart out and just have a look. So from here to here, so there, that's 278 pips. And when my take profit is, we're looking at 427 pips around that mark, right? So either way, I'm hitting just over 200 pips, right? And we're risking like practically nothing, right? So this is the kind of like an overview of my strategy and the inner workings of what's currently been happening. There's still a lot more refining to go. As I said, I also need to expand my product range, because if we're playing the daily charts, levels, sometimes it takes ages to come back to a daily level. But, I'm also creating the strategy to get the trades from when they actually begin, so we get them when they drop and on the return as well. Like, I'm really just in the beginning stages, guys, of getting this down. So let me show you two of the other markets as well. So here we are on crude oil, and as you can see, like, good 137 pips down. I got in this trade yesterday. So again, look, we've got a daily level over here. Let's drop down to the 1 hour chart. We can see over here that this is where we've had our break. What is the one that did that? Is this zone here. Let's make that red. And this level is part of the second strategy, where we have a five event process. That's for another time, right? As we can see, it touched there. It's coming to here a few times. So I noticed it coming to here a few times. There's reasons why I decided to still place it there, even though I noticed the market's already come back into it. There's a few other reasons. I won't go in that today. But as you can see here, I've got one trade there and another trade underneath, because that's because I played the five-step events, right? 5-event process. And as we can see, we're pushed down nicely as well. Okay. So that is crude. Let's go and take a look at gold. So here we are on gold, and we've got our drop, base, rally. Again, look at the profit margin. Absolutely stunning, right? I think that's around 45 pips on this platform. I think on another platform that would be like a ton of pips, but on my platform this is 45 pips. Again, let's dive into the lower time frame. We have the level here of, this is event 2. Event 3 is the trigger event, and this is only a risk of 4 pips, guys. Yeah. So this is it. This is it, right? I know it may just look really easy right about now, but there are certain things that need to happen even before this to even qualify the fact that this is even a daily worth going after. But again, we've got the confirmation now, right? So if certain things don't line up, then they don't line up. We don't place the trade. Trade's already at break even, and we can just wait to see how it plays out. So that is that, guys. I'm going on holiday tomorrow. It's my birthday next week on Tuesday. So that's going to be awesome. And I'll do some more videos when I come back. As I said, guys, I really do appreciate you sticking with me. I've been working on this for a few months now, like alongside trying to build my agency as well. And it has been a struggle. I can tell you that. It may look so easy right now, but fucking hell, it has been emotional. But anyway, hope you guys have an awesome weekend. That's if I even get this out today. I'll probably create this video on the plane on my phone as I do all of them. But nonetheless, have an awesome weekend. I will be back next week with some videos if I've got the availability, but definitely if not next week, the week after, to at least give you an update on how these trades are going, but you can keep an eye on them yourself. Again, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what's been happening. Let me know if this makes sense to you. And I love you all. Speak soon.